Okay, awesome. Hi, my name is Brynjar Ulriksen, and today we will dive into a highly profitable modern fraud called Vishing. So a quick disclaimer, my examples are in Norwegian because I worked at a Norwegian bank, so yeah. I work as a consultant in Miles and worked 2 years in S-Banken as a security developer and as part of their incident response team, where we combat fraud from both the developer side and active. Last year I had a talk at NDC where I introduced people to how easy it is to scam people in Norway today. And the idea was that if I just complain about it, maybe someone else will do something and things will get better. That didn't work. It actually got worse. It has gotten really, 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 really bad. So you know how Norwegians like to believe that we are number one at everything. We're great at chess, or we have one person that's great at chess, and we're great at skis, or we have a couple. Well, we're also the most scammed people in Scandinavia. So, number one, again, great job. According to a relatively recent study, 27% of respondents reported being the victim of a fraud between February 2022 and 2023. That's quite a high number. And one of the reasons we're so vulnerable is because we do basically everything online. So a quick vocabulary before we go any further. Vishing is a form of scam or phishing attempt where they try to get your personal information via voice phishing. Spoofing is an attack where you alter the caller ID to make it seem that the call is originating from another person. So basically you get a call from a number and it's not actually that number that's calling you. This is nothing new and was commercialized back in 2004. And then we have bank ID, which probably most of you know, which is electronic identification here in Norway. So to try to get that 27% down, or at least not up, today we'll focus on police phishing. That's the form of phishing where they target people and pretend to be from the police. Often they combine it with a spoofing attack from the region that they're targeting. So as you can see in these two examples, here the victims got these phone numbers up on their telephone. And what do you do when you get random phone numbers up? Well, you Google it. And if you Google it, it states that it's from the police, and it states that it's from your local police station. And then you believe it. Then you believe that, okay, it's the police calling me, because why wouldn't it be? In addition to that, they've started using robot calls, which probably many of you people got in the last few months, where it's a robot that's calling you and saying that you're the victim of some form of scam, and it's from the police. And basically the idea here is to allocate all the human resources the scammers has to the people that are most gullible. So they're basically min-maxing fraud. Another way of starting a police phishing scam is via smishing, SMS phishing, where they send you a text like this, and then they call you if you press the link, or even if you don't press the link, because then you've kind of been in contact with the police. So again, trying to build this credibility. I read this last week, so I had to just get it in. It was apparently 2 people claiming to be from the police that abducted an 8-year-old to Dubai and drained her accounts. I don't know if many people read it, so I hope this is not the way modern fraud is going, but yeah, that was pretty insane to read about. So why is police phishing particularly bad? Well, it targets the inherent trust we as a society have with the police, which we have here in Norway. In addition to that, a normal scam takes about 3,200 Norwegian kroners from an average victim, but phishing takes significantly more. We've had examples of people being on the phone with scammers for 8 hours, and it's not a lot of money left in the bank account after that. They often use a form of safe account scam, which is basically they're claiming that your money is in danger, and you have to transfer it to a safe account. This is particularly bad because according to the Financial Agreements Act here in Norway, paragraph 430, it states that the bank is liable to any non-approved transfers in your bank account. but in a safe account scam, you are the one doing the transferring, and thus it's technically a approved transfer, and the bank can claim you responsible. They often go after the older population. If you heard of the Olga swindle, where they target women who are, or women with old-sounding names, because older women are stereotypically bad with technology. If you combine this with the inherent trust that generation have with the police, then you see how much of a deadly cocktail this is. They are often native speakers, calling with information about you, such as your name or your place of address. Again, just to build this credibility and make you believe that it's the police. Both the actual police and the scammers are interested in your personal information. The police need it to know who you are and what relevance you have to the case they're working on, and the scammers need it to steal your money. So both have kind of legitimate way of, or both need it. However, the scammers really need your bank ID, as it's basically the key to your funds online, while the police will never ask about it. So if you're talking to the police and they keep asking about your bank ID, that's a huge red flag. So how can you avoid getting fooled? Well, I reached out to my contact in the police, and she said that there are basically two ways you can verify that it's the police. The first thing you can do is ask for their location, their name, and their bid, not their bank ID, important, but their user identity. Then you call the central police hub and ask them to verify that this person with this bid works at this location. The scammer will most likely not know what a bid is, while the police will have no problem of giving it up. Another thing you can do is just ask them to send you a mail, and then you'll get a mail from that person at police.no. Again, quite easy for the police to do, quite hard for the scammer to do. My contact had been working with the police for 2 years when I talked to her, and she calls people all the time, not for scamming them, obviously, but for police things. And she said that over the course of 2 years, only 2 people had asked, how can I be sure that you're actually a police person and not just blurted out all their personal info? Which, again, is kind of a good thing because we want to trust the police, but it also explains why this is so effective. So, what happens if you get scammed? How will the police address it? Well, most likely it will be dropped right after you report it. The police received 22,000 reports of fraud in 2022 alone, and we believe this is just the tip of the iceberg, as many people feel ashamed of being scammed and will just take the loss and move on, rather than actually report it and admit that they were being scammed. In addition to that, most cases are a part of a criminal organization that spans multiple countries, while the police officer that receives your report is most likely a local police officer in your county, which has a lot of other reports and basically doesn't have the time or the capability to solve this case. So does that mean that you shouldn't report it? Well, there are people in Norway and abroad that work actively against this, and they can use your report for statistics, finding out which criminal group targets which population, and then further down the line, maybe build a case and lead it to arrest, and then your report can be used as evidence in the future. In addition to that, if you want any money back from your bank, the bank requires that you report it. So that's also kind of personal carrot for you. So, yeah, you should report it, basically. So what can you do? Well, if you're in doubt, you should probably just hang up the phone. It's nothing else. Hope that they don't come on your door and knock, take you with you to Dubai. So, thank you.